Today's episode is a little bit different. We're going to be doing the biggest giveaway that we have ever done in the history of the channel. Milwaukee asked me to select two of my favourite power tools that they make. AirPods, which I find absolutely awesome, and this, Milwaukee Torque Wrench. All you have to do to be in with a chance to win is live in Europe and comment below how many times we say Milwaukee in this episode today, starting from now. If you get that number right, you'll be in with a chance to win. The winner will be announced next episode. Yeah, I know this one's a little bit different. Grab some popcorn, make your nana sandwich, enjoy it. My name's Corey, and I'm addicted to tools. I used to think that was a problem. Everything we have that we credit humans for.
The Empire State Building, built by the brains, the brawn, the ingenuity and the muscle of mankind.
The Industrial Revolution, railways, planes, trains and cars, all of it was built on the back of hardworking people. But what was in their hands the whole time? So there's been a secret worker behind the scenes making these things possible. The tool companies that are forward thinking and adapt to the needs of the worker. We all know who my favourite tool company is.
Milwaukee
Electric Tools.
Now, I've invited myself to their events before. It's the world's first rideable Packout.
Okay.
So you can imagine my excitement when I was invited to join Milwaukee in Monaco and see what groundbreaking updates they've made and what secret new tools they're developing. Stay tuned if you want to see what Milwaukee is bringing out this year. Wow.
Despite getting attacked by a fanboy at the airport and realising we were actually on the same flight together, we managed to make it to Monaco in one piece.
This behind me is the venue. So Milwaukee have got in there all of this year's unreleased tools. So that means for every trade, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, you name it, you've got unreleased tools inside of there, which we have been given exclusive access to film. Let's go have a little look inside.
As every tradesman will know, tool theft has become a humongous problem in our industry. I don't feel that tool manufacturers have done anything about this. I think they've been asleep on it, they've been lazy about it, and in my opinion that's intentional because every time your tools get pinched, you have to go out and buy more, so it's good for their sales. However, not Milwaukee. They're doing something to combat it, and that is with their Milwaukee One Key system. Let's go check that out now.
So let's say you've got a company with multiple job sites across the city. Let's say, just for argument's sake, that is your boundary of job sites, right? Now, all of the tools that are One Key compatible, you can assign to the various job sites, and if it's not a One Key compatible tool, like, I don't know, let's say for example, you've got a digger or a ladder or something like that, you can stick one of these Bluetooth trackers on it, which is incredibly tough. Still working just fine. I can say if this thing leaves the area, send me a notification and lock the tool. So that outside of that geofence, this tool is a complete lemon, basically. It just won't work. Not only that, they had 130,000 euros worth of tools recovered last year in Denmark, all thanks to the One Key system. So I think that is a pretty cool little update.
Right now, as some of you might know, I get a little bit too excited over Packout. It is without a doubt my absolute favourite thing that Milwaukee make. And this year, they have just gone to town on the stuff that they're adding to the range. So without further ado, let me take you around that.
There is a ton of new features and things that have come out this year with Packout, which we'll go into. But first of all, you've probably all seen all the Packout competitors that have been cropping up over the last year. What I want to do is go and actually test them to see if they are just as strong as each other. This right here is Milwaukee's van racking concept, and I think it's awesome. You've got these drop bins. So, drop bins, you can store screws, stuffing glands, all that kind of thing. They lock in place. They can go onto your Packout stack, or they can go on your van wall. I find that way too exciting. The next section is outdoor power equipment. If you're a fan of the channel, you will know I love my garden. So I can tell you, for example, that this is a come from a tree. However, I can't really say that I have an excuse to use all of this equipment, but some of the people watching this channel, I know this because of the helpful comments I get whenever I talk about gardening, are gardeners. So I'm filming this one for you guys, Tropical Garden in London, you're welcome. Milwaukee do a whole range of gardening outdoor power equipment. In case you noticed, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about right now, but every size of chainsaw, you've got all of the lawnmower selection, different pole stores and pole things. We have this, which I believe is for, it's an equestrian toothbrush of some description, I believe. I could be wrong. If I am, feel free to comment below. From the very little that I do know about chainsaws is, I understand they're usually very noisy, very smelly and fumy, and very, very heavy. But this thing is none of those. So let's see if we can actually have the power to do a decent cut. They're all watching and laughing at me.
So you want your left hand that way?
Right. That is pretty ridiculous.
So yeah, if your job involves leaf blowing, 4.5 kilogram weights, up a roller treadmill, then you need to go and check out the outdoor power equipment range, literally right now.
That's Milwaukee. So if you are in the automotive industry, Milwaukee have just brought out this, which I find awesome. So it comes in a Packout kit, but in one tool, you have a die for your bits. You can literally just pop that out and then put your tap set in the same thing, in the same shaft, in the same handle. And the way that they've engineered the thread, they say you need 1/3 of the amount of passes as a traditional tap and die set. Pretty cool. Right, next one. Extremely strong. This is some of their mechanic sets that they're building out now. So it's a metal trolley with pre-cut foam inside of it with basically all the tools you're ever going to need. You can buy it as a set, or you can buy all of these individual foam cutouts, as you can see on the wall here. Right, next tool station. You've got all sorts of crazy innovations like this band file, which is awesome. So if you want to get into like a tight space, hard to reach, hard to access, you can do that. You got this, which is, I don't know, looks like what you put your makeup on with, but you can, if you ever want to smooth off someone's brakes, that's probably easier than WD-40.
Now, this camera is awesome, and obviously Milwaukee would never be allowed to say this. However, it's not just useful for engines. You'll see how many angles you've got there. Let's just say, hypothetically, you're lactose intolerant, aren't getting enough fiber. That is when this camera is going to come in extremely useful. All you need to do is...
So Milwaukee have teams of people now that go out on site, watch people work, and get feedback off of them. And it's things like this that show that that is obviously effective. So you know when you're trying to use an Allen key or a Torx wrench bit, but the screw or thread is completely done. We've all been there, smashing the back of our bit to try and get it in. They've added a solid metal shaft through the center of it so that you can actually bang it with a hammer and loosen it off. Pretty cool innovation, eh? As the Norwegians say, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Same goes for a work site. Come on. First one that I find quite exciting is the updates that have been made to the heated workwear range. So we're all familiar with it by now, the Milwaukee heated jacket. However, the thing that was annoying was when you have your battery in the pocket here, ends up just not being very comfortable when you sit in the van. They've developed a new flat battery with full control. Let me show you. Not only can you switch it on and off from here, but you can also fully customize all of the different heat settings on the front and back of the jacket, which is pretty awesome. The other thing you can do is if you know how long you're going to be working for, let's say you can be working for 8 hours, you can tell it, I'm working for 8 hours, give me the maximum amount of heat possible for 8 hours, and it will automatically set that to work. So cool. This right here is the heating pad that was in the old style heated jacket. This is the new Hexon technology, which we've got a thermal imaging camera to properly show you the difference. You can see this one here on the right is instantly hot, while this one is still warming up. So it gives you quicker control, so not only to warm up, but also to cool down. They did a pretty cool experiment earlier showing with sensors the actual difference all of the various pieces of PPE make. For example, vibration on the different types of gloves. That was very cool. They also have a whole range of glasses, which they put to the test earlier by firing an angle grinder blade at. Pretty cool.
So I know that there are some of you amongst us here who did fail as electricians and failed as plasterers, so had to take up the trade of plumbing. Now, this is a very exciting section. It almost makes me wish I was a plumber. Almost.
So this is the lightest and the fastest bandsaw in the market. One of the applications that plumber use the saw for very often is drain pipe. This is cast iron. I'm gonna quickly show you how I can cut this pipe.
Right, welcome to plumbing and drain cleaning, where we're going to be going head to head on the new Milwaukee stick pump. Are you ready? Yep. Let's do it.
Let's say that one of you guys did take up my advice on the correct use of that camera. You managed to unblock yourself, but then you block up the drains. We've all been there. It happens to the best of us.
Not really any comparison there, is there?
Milwaukee have a full, exciting range of drain cleaning equipment, drain inspection equipment, you name it, they do it. I'm not going to go into it because I have no idea about any of it, but trust me, if you're into drain cleaning, this is exciting stuff. You're going to want to check that out.
Welcome to Carpentry. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know why this is in Carpentry, because this is a tool that I use every day without fail. It's always in my tool bag. This is the new version of it, which you can see the size difference of these things is ridiculous. And more importantly, the weight difference, 900 grams versus 600 grams, which, believe me, when you're using it all day, you're really going to feel. Also, this thing lives in my backpack. I'm going to feel that difference when I'm carrying it on my shoulders. The power, let's go check the power out. I think that kind of speaks for itself. So if you're using a roofing nailer at work, you're probably familiar with having to push down, let it charge up, and then fire. However, the new Milwaukee one has a bump mode, which means I can do this. Pretty cool. So I know absolutely nothing about carpentry tools, but I know a man who does, Mr. Bowler here. So Simon, would you mind giving us a little bit of a rundown of the different products here?
Of course. We'll probably look at a couple of machines. We'll start with this one. This is the latest M18 fueled handheld circular saw. 190mm blade. It's got a party trick. It is guide rail compatible, so you can't really miss. It's a good place to start. I suggest you just turn the vacuum on, pull the trigger and send it on.
I'll let you in on a little secret. My dream trade was actually carpentry. Something about working with natural materials, the idea of just cutting down a tree, processing it, making it into a beautiful piece of furniture has always interested me. To be honest, I think it's interested everyone at one point or other in their life.
So this is a rear handle saw. It will feel different, not in terms of power because it's got the same motor as the last one, but the blade is on the left and the handle is on the back. Have a go. See how you get on.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's unbelievable how powerful that is, and I like that you can see straight down it as well.
Absolutely. One of the questions that get asked repeatedly is what my favourite piece of kit is. I always say the rear handle saw. It's just great.
That's brilliant. Cool. Thanks, Simon.
No worries.
Appreciate it. The next section is hand tools. Now, you might be wondering why I was happy to put a video just of Milwaukee tools on my channel. Am I selling out? Not even in the slightest bit. Let me tell you something. I have a contract which runs for a whole year. Making this video is actually not part of my contract at all. I'm doing this because I genuinely believe their products are the best, and I want to show that. Here's an example, okay? So we've got 3 tape measures here. All of them are the top of the line of their different brands, but we've got them inside of a sandblaster here.
Now you might be wondering, why am I blasting a tape measure with sand? How does that demonstrate anything about their tools? Well, I often get comments when I post things that are comparisons that, it's unfair, it's rigged. One thing is not fair against another thing. The tape measure is a humble tool that every tradesman uses, no matter what trade you're in. And with the comparisons that I've gone for, I've made sure to cherry pick and select comparisons that there is no way of rigging. You can feel it, you can try it, you can test it yourself and see the difference in quality.
So whatever coating it is that they're putting on there, it is absolutely indestructible. Now, as for how tough the actual tapes are, let's go have a look. We have 2 separate weights here. We've got one for the Stanley, one for the Milwaukee. Now, just to show that this is not rigged, we're actually going to do it the other way round. Rather than go that way round, we're going to put them under each other's weight. Let's see if we can destroy them. 3, 2, 1. Good as new. No damage. For fairness, we can do the same one again. 3, 2, 1. got absolutely obliterated. So basically, good quality kit.
Well, duh.
I'm excited to show you around Milwaukee's SDS range. So we have everything from these huge SDS Max drills, which are for kind of slightly more beefy applications. Now let's compare this side by side. Look at that, ridiculous. It's the new M12 drill, but this new M12 SDS also has a chisel function on it. What I'm finding very cool is all of the built-in vacuums and the vacuum attachments that you can get, because silica dust, I'm telling you, is going to be the next asbestos. But you've got things like this for overhead drilling. That collar there takes all of the dust and takes it into an inbuilt vacuum. To be cheeky and start one without it. I'd much rather it be going there than in my lungs. So my tensing hard enough. I've realised, if you have a camerawoman following you, you can literally commit theft. Thanks for the tools. Also, stop filming and come help me put some of this stuff in my van.
I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm blasting the floor with a giant fan.
Polished. So if you're in the construction industry, everyone would have seen a whacker plate. So these things are usually noisy and horrible, because not only have you got the sound of the metal slamming onto the ground, you've also got the sound of an engine, petrol engine running. But this one doesn't run on petrol, it runs on battery, which is just insane. So let's try it out. Put it on briefly just because it's so blimmin' dusty. The fact that you have complete control, where with an engine obviously you have to ramp it up and ramp it down, with a battery you can just turn it on, turn it off. Very, very cool. I'm not in that area of construction, but if I was, something to keep an eye on.
And that, my friend, concludes our time here in Monaco. But I wanted to say a massive thank you to Milwaukee for the hospitality that they showed to us. It was really incredible. And thank you guys for watching. I'm really excited to try these tools over the next year, and I hope you are too.